In the waning days of Earth's second decade of the 21st century's third millennium, humanity stood at the threshold of a new era, a time when interstellar travel was no longer confined to the pages of speculative fiction, but was being forged into a tangible, revolutionary reality. The year was 2080, and the launch of the interstellar vessel Astrea signified mankind's audacious leap into the cosmos. Designed to venture into the vastness of space toward our nearest stellar neighbor, Proxima Centauri, the Astrea embodied decades of technological breakthroughs in nuclear fusion propulsion, advanced artificial gravity generation, and self-sustaining biospheric engineering. On a crisp autumn morning, with the Earth bathed in the soft glow of early sunrise, the launch complex hummed with excitement and solemnity. Engineers, scientists, and citizens gathered at the orbital spaceport, a marvel of modern construction suspended high above Earth's surface, to witness the culmination of decades of research and development. The Astrea, a sleek spacecraft with a length rivaling that of the world's largest ocean liners, was poised for its maiden voyage. Its hull, a composite of ultralight alloys and radiation-resistant ceramics, shimmered with futuristic iridescence. Every detail, from the meticulously engineered nuclear fusion reactor to the rotating habitat ring designed to simulate Earth-like gravity, was a testament to humanity's relentless pursuit of exploration and survival beyond our cradle. The launch was more than a technical event, it was a cultural milestone. National broadcasts captured the scene as the voice of the mission director resonated across the gathered crowd. Today, we embark on a journey not just of distance but of time and transformation. Our home Earth has nurtured us for millennia, but our destiny lies among the stars. With those stirring words, the countdown commenced. Over the course of a tense few minutes, every sensor and display illuminated the precision and care taken in every stage of the pre-flight procedures. As the final seconds ticked away, the silence was broken by a roar of ignition, and Astrea slowly ascended from its cradle into the boundless heavens. At the heart of Astrea's design was a state-of-the-art nuclear fusion drive, a technology that had evolved dramatically since the early experimental reactors of the early 21st century. This drive, fueled by a deuterium-helium-3 mixture harvested from lunar regolith and asteroid deposits, promised continuous acceleration at a steady 1 g for the initial phase of the journey. The reactor's fusion process not only generated the prodigious amounts of energy required for interstellar travel, but also produced minimal waste, ensuring that the spacecraft could operate in a near-closed loop environment for decades. To mimic Earth's gravitational pull during prolonged periods of acceleration, engineers incorporated an ingenious solution: a rotating habitat ring encircling the ship's central core. With a diameter of 800 meters, this habitat ring was outfitted with residential quarters, research labs, community spaces, and agricultural zones. Once the ship reached its cruising velocity, the rotation, set at a precise rate to simulate 1 g, would provide a comfortable environment for the passengers, mitigating the deleterious effects of long-term weightlessness. The design was such that as long as the conservation of angular momentum held, the artificial gravity would persist without the need for constant energy input, a critical factor for a journey spanning decades. Every facet of the Astrea's technology was integrated with redundancy and safety in mind. Multiple sensor arrays, radiation shields, and self-repairing systems ensured that the vessel could withstand the harsh conditions of deep space. The navigation system, based on quantum-enhanced inertial guidance and supplemented by star trackers, was capable of plotting a precise course toward Proxima Centauri, while compensating for the subtle gravitational influences of interstellar matter and cosmic radiation. Furthermore, onboard laboratories monitored not only the spacecraft's structural integrity and propulsion efficiency, but also the health of its biosphere, a closed ecosystem of carefully balanced flora, fauna, and microorganisms, all designed to support human life indefinitely. After achieving a stable low-Earth orbit, Astrea began its acceleration phase. The nuclear fusion engines, ignited with a controlled burst of energy, gradually increased the spacecraft's velocity. During the first 18 days, Astria steadily accelerated at 1G, allowing both the crew and passengers to experience a continuous force akin to Earth's gravity. This phase was critical not only for building up the required speed to break free from the solar system, but also for establishing the artificial gravity environment inside the rotating habitat. Inside the vessel, the atmosphere was a blend of anticipation and routine professionalism. Crew members in smart uniforms navigated the control panels and engine readouts while families settled into their living quarters, each designed with modularity to adapt to the evolving needs of life in space. The initial acceleration was also a period of scientific discovery. Experiments conducted in microgravity during the launch phase were analyzed in real time, and new observations about particle behavior under continuous acceleration added to humanity's understanding of physics in extreme conditions. As the acceleration phase progressed, Astria passed by the orbits of the Moon and Mars. These early flybys were not merely markers of distance traveled, but served as calibration points for the vessel's instruments. High-resolution cameras captured breathtaking views of Earth's receding surface and the familiar silhouettes of our planetary neighbors. At one point, a specially designed probe detached from the main ship, capturing close-up images of an asteroid field, a reminder that even in the vast emptiness of space, remnants of our solar system continued to orbit the Sun. These images, beamed back to Earth after a time delay of several minutes, rekindled humanity's collective sense of wonder and reminded everyone that this journey was a shared dream turned reality. Once the engines reached peak acceleration, the habitat ring slowly spun into action. In a graceful maneuver reminiscent of a ballet, the outer ring began rotating to generate the desired 1G of artificial gravity. Inside, the change was palpable. Corridors that once floated free in a weightless expanse now assumed an up-and-down orientation. Living quarters, previously arranged in a modular, zero-gravity configuration, were reoriented so that the floor was always underfoot. Windows built into the inner surface of the habitat allowed passengers to gaze out at the stars, their light bending gently as the ship's rotation took effect. Daily life on board the Astria was a blend of routine and discovery. Schools, clinics, research laboratories, and recreational centers were all integrated into the habitat design. Children attended virtual classes that connected them not only with local instructors but also with peers scattered across the vast vessel. In communal dining halls, families gathered to share meals grown in aeroponic vertical farms, ingenious structures that maximized space and ensured a steady supply of fresh produce. The ship's biosphere was meticulously managed by a team of biologists who continuously monitored the evolution of microbial communities. These tiny life forms, reproducing many times over within the controlled environment, were both a boon for digestion and a potential hazard if mutations led to unforeseen pathogenic behavior. For many passengers, the journey was as much an emotional and cultural odyssey as it was a physical relocation. The ship's command deck regularly broadcast messages of hope and progress, reminding everyone that while the voyage stretched across decades, the spirit of human resilience and ingenuity remained undimmed. Personal journals, digital archives, and communal storytelling sessions helped preserve the history of the journey, each narrative a thread woven into the tapestry of humanity's new interstellar identity. With the solar system behind it, Astria now embarked on the long, silent stretch of interstellar space. The craft cruised at a constant speed of approximately 4.2% of the speed of light, a velocity that, while only a fraction of the cosmic limit, was sufficient to cover the 4.24 light-year distance to Proxima Centauri within a human lifetime, factoring in time dilation effects. The phenomenon of time dilation became a daily topic of discussion among the crew and passengers. Although onboard clocks ticked steadily, observers back on Earth would later note that time aboard the vessel passed slightly differently, a subtle reminder of the relativistic effects predicted by Einstein over a century ago. During the cruising phase, the ship's navigation team maintained a vigilant watch over the cosmic environment. The interstellar medium, a sparsely distributed mixture of gas, dust, and cosmic rays, posed a persistent if low-level threat to the integrity of the spacecraft's hull. To counteract this, the forward section of Astrea was reinforced with a multi-layer shield designed to vaporize and deflect high-energy particles. Automated tracking systems scanned the horizon, ready to deploy micro-adjustments in the spacecraft's trajectory if even the smallest aberrant particle was detected on a collision course. Communication with Earth, once nearly instantaneous via satellite networks, now operated on a delay measured in years. Every message sent from the vessel took over 4 years to reach the home planet, and replies returned with the same prolonged latency. This delay necessitated a robust system of autonomous decision-making aboard the ship. The onboard artificial intelligence, affectionately nicknamed Prometheus, handled everything from course corrections to health diagnostics, ensuring that life on board would continue smoothly despite the isolation from Earth's immediate influence. Even as the Astrea cruised deeper into the void, the ship's interior thrummed with the energy of continuous exploration. Scientific laboratories conducted experiments ranging from astrophysics to synthetic biology. One team, for instance, studied the effects of prolonged exposure to low-level cosmic radiation on plant growth, hoping to optimize food production for generations to come. Another group explored the potential of using engineered microbes to convert waste products into usable compounds, thereby closing the loop in the ship's self-sustaining ecosystem. These experiments were not only practical necessities but also a testament to humanity's eternal drive to understand and harness the mysteries of the universe. Over time, the Astrea evolved into a microcosm of Earth's diverse cultures and societies. The initial complement of 2,000 passengers, carefully selected through a global program to ensure a balance of skills, ages, and backgrounds, gradually grew as families formed and children were born. Strict protocols regarding reproduction and genetic diversity were instituted early in the journey. Each couple was allotted a defined number of offspring, ensuring that the gene pool remained robust without overwhelming the vessel's limited resources. Generational change was a constant undercurrent on board the ship. As the original passengers aged, new generations began to emerge, each with their own interpretations of life in the cosmos. Elders, revered for their wisdom and experience, played an advisory role in community decisions, while younger citizens enthusiastically embraced innovation. This dynamic balance was crucial. The interstellar voyage was not only a scientific and technological challenge, but also a profound social experiment, a living testament to humanity's ability to adapt to entirely new forms of existence. Cultural traditions from Earth blended with new customs that arose from the unique conditions of space. Annual celebrations were held to mark the anniversary of the launch, during which holographic displays recounted the history of Earth and the heroic effort that had set the mission in motion. Art, music, and literature flourished in this confined yet boundless environment, with creative minds drawing inspiration from the silent majesty of the stars. In quiet moments, many gazed out of the panoramic observation domes, reflecting on the legacy of a planet they had left behind and the uncertain promise of a new home among the stars. Social infrastructure aboard the Astrea was meticulously planned. Educational institutions, medical facilities, recreational centers, and communal meeting spaces were all distributed throughout the habitat ring. The ship's architects had designed living quarters to be modular and reconfigurable, anticipating that as the mission progressed, the needs of the community would evolve. In one corner of the ring, a lush, biophilic garden provided a serene escape, a living reminder of Earth's natural beauty, while in another, a state-of-the-art laboratory buzzed with experiments that pushed the frontiers of human knowledge. Every aspect of life on board was a calculated blend of scientific rigor and the intangible magic of human spirit. Despite all the planning and technological marvels, life on Astrea was not without its challenges. The isolated environment, the inevitability of human conflict, and the slow but relentless creep of time dilation effects all conspired to test the resolve of the interstellar community. Psychological support programs were instituted from the start, with onboard counselors and virtual reality simulations designed to help passengers cope with the vast loneliness of deep space. These measures proved essential, as moments of existential reflection gave way to a profound, shared understanding. that the journey itself was as much about inner exploration as it was about reaching a distant star. Periodic maintenance cycles saw the crew venturing into the outer hull sections to repair minor damage inflicted by micrometeoroids and interstellar dust. Though automated systems handled most of these tasks, the human element, marked by ingenuity and resilience, was never far from the equation. Each repair was accompanied by a renewed sense of purpose, a reminder that every bolt tightened and every sensor recalibrated was a step closer to securing humanity's future among the stars. A particularly challenging aspect was the evolution of the ship's internal biosphere. With all flora and fauna confined to a sealed, carefully regulated environment, even the smallest genetic mutation could have far-reaching consequences. A dedicated team of geneticists monitored the microbial populations, ensuring that beneficial bacteria continued to aid digestion and that harmful pathogens were kept in check. The delicate balance of the ecosystem was maintained through a series of controlled interventions, each one a calculated risk in the grand experiment of sustaining life in deep space. As the Astrea hurtled through the interstellar void at 4.2% of the speed of light, the subtle but undeniable effects of relativistic time dilation began to manifest. Onboard clocks ticked uniformly, marking the passage of days, months, and years. Yet outside, in the vastness of the cosmos, time moved at a slightly altered pace. Scientists on board explained this phenomenon by likening time to a flowing river. For those aboard the ship, the current of time seemed steady. However, observers on Earth would later find that the river of time had advanced ever so slightly faster in the realm of the cosmos. This meant that while a generation on board might experience 50 years of life, several more decades could have passed on Earth. A poignant reminder of the sacrifices and gains inherent in interstellar travel. Prometheus, the onboard AI, played a crucial role in calculating these differences. With a precision that only a machine could muster, it adjusted navigational parameters and life support cycles to account for the shifting pace of time. Passengers learned to live with the bittersweet knowledge that each passing year brought them further from the Earth they once knew, even as it promised a future filled with new possibilities on a distant world. The interplay between the measured progression of time on board and the inevitable drift of cosmic clocks became a constant source of both scientific inquiry and personal reflection. After decades of steady cruise during which the Astrea had become a self-sufficient world in its own right, the long-anticipated moment of deceleration loomed on the horizon. As the vessel neared the Proxima Centauri system, Mission Control, now an independent, decentralized network of specialists spread across the ship, initiated the intricate sequence to slow the spacecraft. The deceleration phase was as much a technological feat as it was a delicate dance with the forces of nature. With precise timing, the nuclear fusion engines were gradually throttled back, and the spin of the habitat ring was adjusted in a series of controlled maneuvers to prepare the ship for the transition from cruise mode to orbital insertion. During these final weeks, every crew member and passenger felt a palpable mixture of excitement and solemnity. The once distant star, Proxima Centauri, now loomed large in the observation domes, a brilliant crimson beacon that heralded a new chapter. In a meticulously choreographed sequence, the Astrea executed a flip maneuver, reorienting the engines so that the deceleration burn would bring the ship into a stable orbit around the target exoplanet. Throughout this process, Prometheus coordinated thousands of micro-adjustments, ensuring that the deceleration was smooth and that the forces experienced by the passengers remained within safe limits. The final days before arrival were marked by a series of public addresses from the mission leadership. "We are about to complete a journey that transcends generations," declared the chief navigator during one broadcast. "As we prepare to embrace our new home, let us remember that this voyage was born from our unyielding hope and the courage to dream beyond the confines of Earth." These words resonated deeply with every soul on board, encapsulating the collective spirit of a community that had journeyed through space, time, and adversity together. With the deceleration complete and the Astrea now in a stable orbit around Proxima Centauri's habitable world, soon to be known by its inhabitants as Nova Terra, the ship's inhabitants began preparations for descent. In specially designed shuttlecraft stored within the ship's hollow core, teams of engineers, scientists, and explorers geared up for the first surface landing. The moment was both historic and deeply personal. After decades adrift among the stars, humanity was about to set foot on a planet that promised a second chance at life. As the shuttle detached from the main vessel, its trajectory set for a carefully mapped landing site, passengers inside the Astrea watched through panoramic windows as the new world came into focus. The planet's surface, bathed in the gentle glow of a red dwarf sun, displayed sweeping landscapes of rugged mountains, shimmering oceans, and vast expanses of fertile plains. A sense of awe and quiet reverence pervaded the cabin. For many, this was not merely a destination. It was a homecoming to a world that held the promise of renewal, a canvas upon which the future of humanity could be painted anew. Meanwhile, onboard protocols ensured that the habitat ring continued to function flawlessly, generating artificial gravity and sustaining the complex ecosystems that had been nurtured over decades. The ship's community centers buzzed with activity, as citizens prepared for the transition from life in transit to life on a planetary surface. In laboratories, scientists analyzed every new stream of data, comparing the planet's atmospheric composition and gravitational nuances to Earth's familiar environment. The minor differences in gravity, slight variations in the spectrum of light, and even the subtle changes in the taste of local flora were all noted as part of the grand experiment of interstellar colonization. In the days that followed the initial landing, the first exploratory teams began to establish a foothold on Nova Terra. Construction modules, prefabricated habitats designed to integrate seamlessly with the local environment, were deployed with precision. Each new structure was a blend of Earth's architectural heritage and futuristic design, crafted to endure both the rigors of a new planetary climate and the enduring human spirit of innovation. As the explorers ventured further from the landing site, they encountered landscapes that challenged and inspired them in equal measure. Vast canyons, luminous bioluminescent forests, and mysterious rock formations hinted at geological processes both familiar and alien. Each discovery was meticulously documented, forming the basis of a new scientific canon that would guide the settlers in understanding their new world. At the same time, cultural narratives evolved on board the Astrea, stories of home, loss, hope, and rebirth that would be passed down through generations as both myth and memory. For those who had spent their entire lives aboard the starship, the arrival at Nova Terra was a bittersweet moment. They had known only the constant hum of engines, the measured pulse of artificial gravity, and the quiet isolation of the interstellar void. Now, as they stepped onto soil that pulsed with the rhythms of a living planet, they were filled with wonder at the prospect of cultivating a future that was both familiar and astonishingly new. Elders shared memories of Earth with wide-eyed youngsters, while the younger generations, born into the journey, embraced the opportunity to write their own chapters in the unfolding saga of humanity among the stars. The challenges ahead were immense. Building a sustainable civilization on a new planet would require not only the ingenuity that had carried them this far, but also the unity of purpose that had been forged in the crucible of interstellar travel. Yet, even as the settlers began the arduous work of constructing homes, farms, and institutions on Nova Terra, they carried with them the legacy of the Astrea, a symbol of the human capacity to overcome limits, to dream, and to reach for the stars. In the quiet hours following the initial excitement of landing, the command deck of the Astrea, now orbiting silently above Nova Terra, was filled with reflective silence. The journey from Earth to Proxima Centauri had spanned nearly a century of human endeavor, blending the rigors of science with the deep, soulful yearnings of a species determined to survive and thrive. Here, in the soft glow of a distant red sun, the story of humanity was being rewritten, a tale of courage, innovation, and an unyielding quest to expand the boundaries of what was possible. As messages began to be transmitted back to Earth, a home now many years removed from the physical and emotional experiences of those on board, the inhabitants of Astrea and the early settlers on Nova Terra found solace in the knowledge that their journey was only the beginning. The communications delay of several years served as a reminder of the vast gulf between their old life and the new frontier. Yet, it also underscored the timeless human desire to connect, to share stories, and to build a future that bridged the gap between worlds. In community gatherings, the story of the launch, the incredible feats of technology, the trials of life in the void, and the ultimate arrival on Novaterra were recounted with a mixture of technical precision and poetic flourish. Children learned of the day when the Astrea first broke free of Earth's gravity, of the brave souls who had dedicated their lives to this mission, and of the enduring spirit that had carried them through years of solitude and uncertainty. The ship's legacy was etched not only in data logs and engineering blueprints but also in the hearts of those who had witnessed history in motion. Looking upward from the surface of Novaterra, the settlers saw the Astrea still orbiting, a gleaming beacon of human achievement. For many, it stood as a reminder that the journey to the stars was as much about the voyage as it was about the destination. In that silent orbit, a promise endured, that no matter how far humanity traveled, the ties to home, to Earth's rich tapestry of life and history, would never be severed. Instead, they would be carried forward into a future where every step taken among the stars was a step toward a renewed understanding of what it meant to be human. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon on Novaterra, and the new night revealed a tapestry of distant stars, the settlers gathered, united in hope and determination, to celebrate the beginning of a new chapter. Their journey had been long and fraught with challenges, yet in every trial they had found the strength to persevere. The voyage of the Astrea had transformed from a mere expedition into a profound odyssey, one that would echo through generations, inspiring future explorers to look up, dream big, and continue the eternal quest for knowledge among the stars. Proxima Centauri, A Journey to the Stars. Year 2080 is not just a chronicle of technological marvels or a record of scientific milestones. It is a living testament to the power of human aspiration, the beauty of discovery, and the indomitable will to venture into the unknown. As the first settlers begin their work on Novaterra, building a civilization from the remnants of a star-bound dream, they carry forward a legacy that will forever remind us that even when Earth's familiar blue has faded into memory, our destiny remains interwoven with the luminous tapestry of the cosmos. In the quiet moments of reflection, whether gathered in community halls, in the intimate solitude of a family's living quarters, or even under the open dome of a starlit night, the story of Astrea lives on. It is a story of engines and gravity, of scientific precision and the unpredictable human heart. It is the narrative of a species that refused to be confined by the boundaries of its origins and instead reached out to embrace the universe. As the settlers of Novaterra begin to plant the first seeds in alien soil and construct the foundations of a new society, they are also, in a very real sense, planting the seeds of future generations who will one day look back on these days with wonder and pride. The journey to Proxima Centauri was only the beginning. The real voyage was the ongoing evolution of humanity, a continuous passage from the known to the unknown, from the tangible to the transcendent. Now, as we stand at the dawn of this new epoch, the message is clear. The stars are not distant, unreachable beacons, but destinations woven into the fabric of our shared destiny. The Astrea has bridged the gap between Earth and the cosmos, between our past and our future. With every passing day on Novaterra, with every structure built, every discovery made, and every bond forged among its people, the dream of a multi-stellar humanity becomes ever more real. A dream that began on a crisp autumn morning in 2080 and will continue to shine as long as the human spirit endures. Thus concludes this chronicle of our journey, a story that is far from over. The legacy of the Astrea and its brave passengers will echo through time, lighting the path for those who dare to look beyond the horizon, to dream beyond the limits of the possible and to reach always for the stars.